Madison here with Health by Ratio, and in this video, we are going to talk about how to mitigate any soreness that might be impacting us after a nice long hike or run. If it's that time of year, if you're getting outdoors, let's give the body a little bit of love to make sure that it feels good after we push it a little bit. Health by Ratio is an online group of licensed physical therapists, orthopedic movement specialists, and functional health coaches that work together holistically with our clients online to help them rehabilitate from recurring and chronic pains and injuries and progress them past that and back towards the active lives that they love to live. All right, so a quick sequence that we can do after we've enjoyed pushing the body a little bit, whether that was for a nice long hike or whether a run, is a couple of stretches as well as a quick massage to the feet and calves after the fact. But the first thing that I like to start off with is if you position yourself, this is actually a little bit more convenient to do next to on a wall as opposed to a post like this, just because this is a little bit thin, but this is what I got access to with for you guys to see me, is I want to get my legs inverted here. And I can, in this position, like I'm basically sitting my butt right up against the edge of the pillar. So I'm trying to get my legs as vertical as possible. Hanging out here for a minute or two goes a very long way in helping get some of this like inflammation that's been pooling around our feet and our calves and our legs, getting it into circulation, getting it out of those feet and allowing us to kind of regenerate some blood flow around that area and not have it just pool. It is a big thing that like you'll even find if you've ever gone for a nice long run or a hike and afterwards, like especially being in the heat, you get really low energy, like you feel super lethargic afterwards. This is like a shot of caffeine. It helps you kind of wake up again. And while I'm here, I can make this a little bit more productive by not just obviously I'm hanging out in a hamstring stretch here, but I can get my calves dynamically opened up a little bit too by doing two things. I first try to straighten out my knees as much as I can. So I kind of try to lock out my knees and then pull my toes down towards my shins as hard as I can. I'll feel a nice stretch coming into those calves. And then I can relax it. I can shake out the knees a little bit, relax my feet, and then do it again. And I can contract the quads, pull the toes down, get a nice stretch, and again, relax out of this. And just going in and out of this for a few seconds here and there for a couple of minutes is a great first step in resetting. And again, allowing my body kind of regenerate some blood flow to the lower legs. Once I've done that, my next go-to stretch for us is going to be opening up my thoracic spine a little bit. So if we've been running or hiking, we want to have some good movement through the thoracic spine, but depending on how we move in and around our gait, or especially uneven trails, this can get a little bit impacted. So I want to open this up evenly to both sides. So how I can do that is I can be laying first on my side here, and I'm going to have my foam roller just in front of me so that I can place my top leg at a 90-degree angle on my foam roller. I'm going to try to keep my knee on this guy the entire time. I'm not going to let my knee come up off of it. And then from here, I'm going to open myself up, rotating my thoracic spine, letting my head follow my eyes, and then I can go into an arm point. So I feel this nice stretch that comes through the ribs in the mid back and then coming in and out of it. Don't have to spend long, basically going in and out of that movement dynamically for say about a minute or so. So you guys can see me on the other side. I'm laying down here. I get my top leg here, and then I'm going to be opening up as far as I can, whatever's comfortable for me, and then pointing that arm up and then controlling back down. Now, if you notice, one side is tighter than the other. Like you can't get the arm as low or on the ground versus the other side you can, then there's potentially some asymmetries that might be happening while you're out on your runs or your hikes, and something that you might want to take a look at, especially if you notice single-sided soreness around your walking and runs. Like in general, it's okay for us to have some even muscle soreness. Like if we push the body, it's okay for our feet to be a little sore, our calves or our quads or our glutes or whatever. Like that's acceptable. But if we have one side of the body giving us pain while the other isn't, or even worse, as we start feeling joint pain in and around the actual activity itself, like our ankles or our knees or our hips or our back is irritating us, well, then there's something probably going on in our gait that we need to dive deeper into. And if you guys want to understand what's going on and more importantly, know how to fix it so you can get your body back to balance and harmony, that's something that my team and I do for free. We're happy to connect with anyone over video, give you guys go through a number of functional assessments with you, and give you guys a game plan on what specific stretches and or exercise you need to do to get your body moving back towards full range of stable motion. Okay, now I've done the thoracic spine. I've gotten my legs inverted. The last big stretch that I like to do is the kneeling hip flexor stretch. And this one's going to open up my psoas muscle, and I can also make it a little bit progressed and turn it kind of into a couch stretch, which is going to get my quad involved as well. So this one, I'm going to take a knee on something padded, hence why I moved my mat over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my glute like crazy. So I want to engage this glute. I'm even trying to tuck my hip down a little bit. So I'm almost trying to pull my tailbone down between my legs. Then from there, I'm just going to inch forward while keeping that glute squeezed, while keeping that hip tucked. And I'll feel a nice stretch that comes right in the front of the hip. Now, I can move in and out of this, which I'm a big fan of after an activity like this. I don't necessarily have to hold the stretch forever if I've just gone for a run or for a hike. I can kind of move dynamically in and out of this movement and pump some blood flow to the area. I can also swing my arm up and get a little deeper into this hip flexor stretch, get a little bit of a lean towards the front leg. And if you have something to support yourself, like I have this bench right here, the thing that we can do is, if you have the mobility, is grab your foot, still squeezing your glute, and try to bring your heel towards your butt or as close as you comfortably can. Then you can come out of it, turn into the hip flexor stretch, go into that progression, and then again, grab that foot and pull it up. You'll feel a really deep quad stretch going dynamically in and out of it. And we're just going through it again, anywhere 30 to 60 seconds here, getting some nice mobility in and around the hips, getting some good blood flow with our dynamic movements. After I've done that, there are a number of things that we can trigger point. We can work anywhere around the hips, anywhere around the glutes, anywhere around the quads, but two go-tos no matter what, that's just a no-brainer after a run or a hike, is working on our feet and working on our calves. And in general, when we're really trying to do some deep tissue manipulation, like if I'm trying to really work this plantar fascia line that so often gets really tight for many of us, I should probably be really committing to kind of one spot, really kind of massaging into that area, getting some movement into the area, but like not really rolling off of it. I'm kind of staying on one area for several minutes until it releases and relaxes, similar to how a massage therapist would find some gunk in us or not and would work into that for a minute until that thing releases, and then they would move on to the next spot. That would be how we'd treat this. But after a hike or a run, I just kind of want to get my blood flow continuously circulating, getting some good mobility to the area, because the soreness occurs from a combination of lactic acid being in the tissues as well as the tissues actually being broken down, both of which get improved by circulation. If I circulate blood through the area, that's going to flush out the lactic acid. And if I am circulating new nutrients through the area with the blood, that's going to repair it faster. So in this case, I'm just going to kind of do more like a quote unquote Swedish massage. I'm going to go kind of less pressure, and I'm going to go across the whole tissue and spend, again, about 60 seconds just massaging out each foot and getting in some good blood flow to the area. If there's a specific spot that kind of hurts so good and I want to give it a little bit more attention, that's okay. But for the most part, I'm just digging in to the foot, probably 60% or so effort, and then massaging out the entire line. And then last but not least is the same thing, same idea to my calf itself. And again, if I was like a lot of us have some really tight calves and the muscle tissues that surround it. They can impact our feet, our ankles, our knees. Our tight calves can also impact how our hips function, our glutes fire, our core stabilizes our back. Like they're important. And many of us, this is a problem spot. So if I really wanted to get into some mobility, I'd find my hot spot and really scrub into it and contract and relax it and like really massage into it. For this, again, I'm just going to do some broad strokes rolling. I'm kind of just going with partial effort into it. I'm working on the inside of the calf here with my foot turned in. I can work on straight behind my calf and Achilles a little bit. I can turn the foot out. I can add a little bit of pressure with the top leg here, whatever feels comfortable. I'm not trying to kill myself on this, but just I can slide my butt across the ground a little bit by propping myself up and with my hands and my other foot. And then obviously after about that 60-second mark, I can do that to the other leg and work on the inside and outside of this whole lower leg, getting that blood flow that I need. Because no matter what, whether I'm walking or hiking, my lower legs are taking a pounding. My feet and calves are doing a whole lot of work here. And that's it. Just takes a handful of minutes, mitigates a ton of the soreness that we would expect to see after pushing our body. But again, if we're not necessarily dealing with general muscle soreness across the whole body, if we tend to be dealing with single-sided issues, or even more importantly, if we're dealing with pains while we're on that hike or on that run, then we need to understand why that's occurring, what imbalances, what compensations are occurring in our technique that's putting that torque on that joint or on that one side of the body. And again, that's something that my team and I would be happy to help with, and we will go through a number of assessments to really determine how and why your body's doing what it's doing and give you a game plan on how to correct it. You'll see below this video a link to our calendar where you can pick a day or time that works best for you. The first call that we actually connect with people on is just a quick call to get to know you really quick on what you've been through, what you enjoy doing, and what your goals are, all that good stuff. And the second call is where we actually connect over video, both totally free and something that we're really passionate about. So feel free to click below if you like this video. Like, subscribe, comment on how much you liked it, all that good stuff. Give us some feedback, and we'll see you next time.